7:30. Good evening and welcome to ABS TV News. Making the headlines tonight, state government partners Austrian firm on waste management. Finance Commissioner Nojama says federal government is yet to refund 43 billion naira spent on federal road projects in the state. APC suspends senator representing Kaduna Central Sani over anti-party activities, and on the foreign scene, Roman Catholic Church rejects death penalty. My name is Chidima Orawan. Now the news in detail. An Austrian firm, Energy Vegasong Magraten, Vienna, Austria, has sealed a deal with the state government for waste management and conversion in the state. Governor Willie Obiano received a delegation from the firm today at the Governor's Lodge, Anambra. Government House correspondent Kenechi Kwofoba was there and tells us more.
Under the project, the firm, otherwise known as Sustainable Environmental Technologies Limited, Austria, will bring 100% of the investment funds, while Anambra State will provide the refuse and the dump site. The project, which is an outcome of Governor Obiano's recent business trip to Austria, will yield a sustainable waste solution that will be built to suit the environmental and socio-economic component of the state in order to create jobs, clean up the streets, and convert waste to biofuel, electricity, fertilizer, among other things. Receiving the delegation, Governor Obiano, who expressed happiness that the business deal panned out, noted that it will help the state effectively deal with waste management, which has been a major challenge. He revealed that the Austrian firm has proven to have the required experience and expertise in waste conversion, noting that the partnership will create value for both the state and the investor.
Truthfully, in Austria, from my experience, every place is clean, purely because of the way they've been managing their waste all these years, So I'm happy that Mr. Warner is here. They are investing in this project 100%. All Anambra will provide is the waste and the site, and other ancillary activities that will go around it.
The leader of the delegation and managing director of the firm, Mr. Warner Wellnoff, who revealed their delight at the credible investment opportunity that Anambra State provides, said they will model the facility after their plants in India and Brazil. He noted that they are presently doing feasibility studies and working on getting operational premise according to the laws of Nigeria, after which it will take about 6 to 9 months to complete the facility.
They will be built a little bit different than what you have seen in Austria, because in Austria they are tailor-made for Austrian, so for European climate circumstances. Here we will build them more like we did build already in India and in Brazil, based on the climate, and we will take a lot of knowledge and know-how gathered in these circumstances to implement them here in Anambra State.
From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, I am Kenechi Kwofoba reporting for ABS News.
The state government says it is yet to receive the refunds of the 43 billion naira owed it by the federal government for federal road projects executed in the state. According to a statement signed by the State Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Ifatu Onejeme, what has happened presently was the beginning of the process of refund, as the state is still far from receiving the funds. Mr. Onejeme, who was reacting to stories by a section of the media claiming that the federal government has refunded the amount owed Anambra State over the years, explained that the Senate has merely approved the borrowing plan by the Federal Ministry of Finance, under which refunds will be facilitated. He said Anambra State government came up with the idea of converting the debt into borrowing following the inability of the federal government to pay the debt, and the state government consequently suggested flotation of bonds or promissory notes and made it clear that the approved borrowing plan is a long way to actual receipt of the cash by the state. The commissioner said the Debt Management Office, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Ministry of Finance will now work out details of the borrowing plan for the 37 billion naira approved in order to determine the source of funding of the plan, which he added may also involve the Securities and Exchange Commission if the instruments to be used involve the commission, while the payments through bond or promissory notes The state has the option of waiting for maturity of instruments, and that goes through a group of commercial banks to choose the option of discounting the debt for cash. He recalled that the debt that accumulated from the days of Governor Chris Ngigas, the Anambra State Governor, through Governor Peter Obi and Governor Willie Obiano was actually 47 billion naira, but a series of reconciliations with the Federal Ministry of Power, Works, Housing, as well as the Federal Ministry of Finance brought it down to 43 billion naira. The state government has commenced pulling down of the slums and reclaiming of the waterfront near Nigerian prisons Onitsha, popularly known as Marine Community. Government House correspondent Kenichi Warfama witnessed the exercise and now reports.
The operation followed a directive from Governor Willie Obiano that the place be cleaned up, as it has turned to not only a slum and therefore not good for habitation, but has also become a hotbed for all manner of criminal activities. The operation was led by the State Fiscal Planning Board with support from security agencies. The notice of eviction, it was gathered, was served the occupants over 6 months ago, with subsequent consultations with their heads on the need for the eviction. However, on arrival at the area, the demolition team was met with stiff resistance as some of the occupants set up bonfires and hurled stones at government officials to prevent the operation. It took the intervention of men of the Nigerian Navy to contain the situation before the bulldozer could go in and work, as some occupants continued to carry out their property. The Commissioner for Road, Rail and Water Transportation, Mr. Uchenna Okafor, said the operation has prospects for government's efforts at reclaiming the state waterways.
His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano wants to reclaim the waterways and beautify it, implement the master plan, and make sure that people come here to spend their holidays at the seashore. You know, this from security report, this is a criminal hideout. So there's no how we can continue to celebrate impunity. The government must do their work, and Excellency Governor Willie Obiano, you know, security is his priority, and he cannot compromise on that.
The chairman of the State Fiscal Planning Board, Mr. Chike Maduekwe, who led the operation, said when fully reclaimed, the waterfront will be turned to a tourist site, adding that the complementary facilities that will be put in place will enhance the environmental ambience of the area and create job and wealth opportunities. He further revealed that on the order of the governor, they are working with the leadership of the marine community to enumerate the families living there so that government can provide them little assistance to resettle.
From waterfront, River Niger is a major historical event in Anambra. So, Governor Wesley Naga Dozia, I went back when they see me now. We're Chopotana, the Abanidegun and the Perimanande, or Chopinde, the Kuaji, Abadway, Parin Neba, Wesimba, Keweku. Eba kandi binonicha wela rola fuma alusikwenya konicha soluna one of ofuni making tourist destination.
For the general manager of the board, Mr. Victor Boko, and the managing director and chief executive officer of Oka Capital Territory Development Authority, ACTDA, Venerable Amechi Okwosa, the gains of the operation far outweigh the sentiments that it may erupt, while a lot has been achieved by the relevant agencies in the area of urban renewal and structural transformation of cities of the state, because they have the full backing of Governor Obiano. Some occupants of the marine community who spoke to the ABS, including Joseph Aloeze, Mrs. Caroline Nacho, and Mrs. Ngozi Keizwem, appealed to government for support as they do not have any other place to go. At the end of the exercise, all the shanties in the area were completely brought down, while evacuation of debris continues today. From Onitsha, I am Kene Chukwuofoma, reporting for ABS News.
The Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy and a non-governmental organization have trained selected youths in coding and software development. Correspondent Valentine Madagar, who covered the event, reports that the workshop attracted youths from the state and beyond. His report is taken from our studios.
To the ABS shortly after the event, Chief Executive Officer of IDK and IDK Learning Center, Mrs. Shi stated that the idea was to transform youths into entrepreneurs, which will help alleviate poverty and effect positive change on the economic growth of the state. Mrs. Nweke, while thanking Governor Willie Obiano for creating enabling environment for small businesses and commercial activities to thrive in the state, highlighted the immense opportunity in coding and software development, stressing the need for the participants and youths to partake in the forthcoming Code Explore Bootcamp.
We gathered our young ones today to introduce them to the world of programming, to give them free information, free knowledge as to the things they can do to become employed, either to work as junior developers, software developers, or to become entrepreneur software developers where they can start their own business.
In a remark, a resource person and a software development specialist, Mr. Divine Ezelibe, stressed the need for young ones to utilize the opportunity and get equipped with the life-transforming workshop, noting that IDK will not just educate them, but will empower them to become employers of labor through coding and software development.
In Anambra State, we have a lot of people, a lot of youth, young guys who are talented, who are in the state. So we want to have a project right now to harness those people, bring them together, the potentials, those latency in them, help them, those of them especially who wants to start up a career as a software developer in Anambra State or so. We actually created a platform where they can be hosted, we give them an office space, we provide them with internet facility, and then we get going, and then we'll be training them on subsequent skill upgrading training.
Some of the participants, including Ogechukwu Mbakwe from Alo and Tochukwu Akujiobi from Imo State, expressed joy and readiness to become software developer while thanking IDK for the one-day free capacity building seminar, which they viewed as an eye-opener.
I saw the advert online on WhatsApp on my Facebook page and I got interested. It's free and then got to become a programmer, which has been my vision to want to get into programming.
I feel very, very blessed being in this seminar or workshop. It's an eye-opener. I learned very few things, adding to all what I know before, and it's worthwhile.
Some 80 Anambra youths are being trained on information communication technology ICT skills by the Anambra Irish Professionals Association AIPA Ireland as a way to make them self-reliant. The two-day training, which is ongoing at Jam Center Newi, attracts participants from across the state. Correspondent Ogochukwu Keke has the details.
The participants, who are selected from people who have not used computers before, trained on how to create email accounts, online marketing, website design and hosting, and how to retrieve lost information with the computer. The chairman, Anambra Irish Professionals Association Ireland, Sir Paul Ozo, explained that their main objective is to make Anambra youth self-reliant through ICT empowerment. He expressed delight at the massive turnout of the participants.
We want to make them be aware of coding in ICT, which is the model or the top of the IT in the whole world. So we are here in the Jam Center in Newi to make them aware of what is coding and some basic computer training.
Member IPA Ireland, Mr. Tobechukwu Dochu, affirmed that the training is basically focused on youth only, mainly on technical innovation, and urged the participants to consolidate on what they have learned.
Our message as well is for them to keep on, because the new world is unfolding, without technology, especially the ICT, we are going nowhere. We are just left behind.
The facilitator and Chief Executive Officer, AfriPoint Networks, Mr. Goodluck Arua, said their aim is to eradicate poverty and idleness and as well create job opportunities for the people of the state. On their part, some of the trainees, Mr. Nnadi Manuel from Nnewi and Ms. Ngozi Ara from Nneni, described the event as apt, as it has widened their knowledge on ICT, as well as on how to market their businesses online through Facebook and other social media.
We learned about how to open websites, how to Google in and Facebook, how to scan and hide the email so that somebody cannot tamper with it, like hackers.
From Nnewi, I am Ogochukwu Okeke reporting for ABS News.
APC suspends Senator Sani. This and more comes your way after this timeout. Join us again.
I've got something for you. Clorette's is the only gum that eliminates odors, giving you real fresh breath.
Glad to have you back for the rest of the news. Despite the crisis rocking the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, the party has suspended the senator representing Kaduna Central in the National Assembly, Shehu Sani. The senator was suspended by the Tundawada North chapter of the party in Kaduna State. In a statement signed by the chairman, Tundawada North chapter of the APC, Mr. Ibrahim Salisu Togo, they insisted that their decision was based on the constitution of the party. The statement accused the senator of anti-party activities and insisted that the only precondition for lifting the suspension on Senator Sani is for the lawmaker to openly apologize to the leadership of the party for his various acts of misconduct and disrespectful attitudes towards both his constituents, the party leadership, and his media attack on President Muhammadu Buhari. They went further to say that he must apologize to the government and people of Kaduna State for frustrating the $350 million loan meant to develop the state in the areas of education, healthcare delivery, works and housing, women and youth empowerment, among others. The Deputy President, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Comrade Innocent Nduanya, says only political parties that allotted 60% of their political slots to the youths will get the vote of Nigerian youths in the forthcoming 2019 general elections. Comrade Nduanya noted that the idea has become imperative due to the manner at which most political parties neglect the youths and made it clear that Nigerian youths have the requisite skills and knowledge to lead the nation. The Deputy National Chairman, who equally charged Nigeria youth to always remain focused, resilient, and committed in everything they venture into in life, insisted that it is only political parties that their manifestos and ideologies are in line with the aspirations of the Nigerian Youth Council of Nigeria will get their full support. Comrade Nduanya further urged the youths to get their permanent voter cards to enable them vote during the aforementioned election. And he also praised Governor Willie Obiano for giving youth of the state a sense of belonging in his administration, calling on other governors in Nigeria to emulate him. In our business news, a report from the Office of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, has shown that foreign investment worth over $8.9 billion were announced in the country between January 2017 and the end of first quarter of 2018. For more on business news, over now to Samuel Ogogor.
The report, titled 2018 Making Business Work, evaluated government's effort in improving the business environment in Nigeria and was presented to the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo by the Enabling Business Environment Secretariat during the monthly meeting of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. A breakdown of capital investments as contained in the report showed that in 2017, over $60 billion worth of investment were announced, comprising 112 projects across 27 states and the FCT Abuja, while an additional $17.9 billion worth of investments were announced in Q1 of 2018, as actual capital importation stood at $6.3 billion, representing over 6 times the value in first quarter of 2017. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, Laolu Akande, who unfolded the report, stated that measurable progress has been recorded on multiple fronts as the economy responds to key government interventions, particularly in the areas of economic growth, inflation, foreign exchange and external reserves, capital market, investment, infrastructure, and social investment programs.
This business news is brought to you courtesy of Ezebo Microfinance Bank Limited, formerly Umudioka Community Bank, Afigo Market, Umudioka. We bridge the gap.
And still on the news, the Roman Catholic Church has formally changed its teaching to declare the death penalty as not acceptable in all circumstances. The Vatican said it has changed its universal catechism to reflect Pope Francis' total opposition to the death penalty. Previously, the catechism, a summary of church teaching, had allowed the death penalty in rare cases. The 1.2 billion member Catholic Church has allowed the death penalty in extreme cases for centuries, but the position began to change under the late Pope John Paul II, who died in 2005. The Vatican said it has changed its universal catechism, a summary of church teaching, to reflect Pope Francis' total opposition to capital punishment. The new provision is expected to run into stiff opposition from Catholics in countries such as the United States, where many Catholics support the death penalty. And just before we go, a quick reminder that you can follow news and programs from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And now the recap of our major stories. State government partners Austrian firm on waste management. Finance Commissioner Anambra has said federal government is yet to refund the 43 billion naira spent on federal road projects in the state. RPC has suspended Senator representing Kaduna Central, Sani, over anti-party, and on the foreign scene, we reported that the Roman Catholic Church has rejected death penalty. And that's it on the news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chidima Arangwa. Good night.